I know you've heard of fibromyalgia. If you see this at the end, algia, that means pain or suffering. If you see dys, D-Y-S, that means bad, difficult, painful, like dysfunctional. You know, you can use like real words to help you understand these medical terms. Ectomy, like a hysterectomy. An ectomy is a surgical removal. Hysterectomy, you're removing the uterus, the ovaries, the fallopian tubes. Ectomy is surgically removing something. Itis means inflammation, like arthritis. That's inflammation of your joint. Ostomy is a surgical creation of an artificial opening to the body surface, like somebody has a colostomy bag. Ostomy. And a colostomy bag is like the bag that's attached to their bowels, and it's a bag that helps them, kind of use the bathroom through the bag. Colostomy. It's an ostomy because there's a surgical creation of an artificial opening. Plasty is a surgical repair. If someone has a rhinoplasty, we know rhino means nose, like rhinoceros. They got the thing on their nose. So if somebody's having a rhinoplasty, we know they're having a surgical repair of their nose. Rhino is nose, plasty is surgical repair. RIA, flow or discharge. What's a great definition of RIA? A word that you can use that means flow or discharge. Somebody say it out loud for me.
Gonorrhea.
Diarrhea.
Exactly, diarrhea, right? So that's a flow of your bowels just flowing. So flow or discharge. Okay, so we got that down. Hyper, excessive, hypodeficient. Somebody got hypertension, they got high blood pressure. If they got hypotension, they got low blood pressure. So, and here is the words put together where you can see. Adenectomy, surgical removal of your gland. Tonsillitis, inflammation of your tonsils. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. So these are definitions, and you have all these and you can download as well. So we just talked about word roots. And that's when it comes with the backslash, like we just talked about. Myo means muscle. My with the slash and the O, it means muscle. Myocardial infarction. Remember I told you a myocardial infarction is the same thing as a heart attack. So myo is muscle, cardio is heart. So we know this, even if we've never saw the word myocardial before. If we know that myo is muscle and we know that cardio is heart, we know there's something to do with the muscle of the heart. Osteo, bone. Osteoporosis, weakness of the bone. Arthro deals with your joint, arthritis. Neuro deals with your nerves, neuropathy. Word root and combining forms. So cyan, CYAN/O. Cyanosis. Cyanosis is the blue discoloration of the skin caused by lack of adequate oxygen in the blood. Cyan means blue. Osis means abnormal condition or disease. Leukocyte. Leukocyte is a white blood cell. Leuko means white and cyte means cell. There we go. Poliomyelitis is a viral infection of the gray nerve tissue of the spinal cord. Polio means gray. Myel means spinal cord. Itis is inflammation, which means it's inflamed spinal cord, gray tissue. Suffixes. An adjective is a word that defines or describes. In medical terminology, many suffixes meaning pertaining to are used to change the meaning of a word root into an adjective. For an example, the word root cardi means heart, and the suffix AC means pertaining to. Once combined, they form cardiac. An adjective that means pertaining to the heart. Suffixes that mean pertaining to. So all these suffixes, when you see these, it means pertain to. Pertaining to whatever else the word root or the combining form is. Suffixes related to procedures. Centesis. Centesis is a surgical puncture to remove fluid from the diagnostic purposes or for diagnostic purposes or to remove excess fluid. Has anybody heard of an amniocentesis? You usually get that done when you're pregnant. It's the surgical puncture of the abdominal cavity to remove fluid. Abdomen with the O. Abdominal, means abdomen. And abdominal men. Don't talk about me, y'all. I can't say that word. And centesis means a surgical puncture to remove fluid. Scopy. Scopy means a visual exam. So anything with a scopy on it, you know that's a visual exam. Endoscopy. Arthroscopy. Arthroscopy is the visual exam of the internal structure of a joint, and scopy means visual exam. So they're visually looking at the joint. We also have prefixes. A prefix is something that is added to the beginning of the word to influence the meaning of that term. Prefixes usually, but not always, indicate the location, time, and number. Example, the term natal means pertaining to birth. Nat means birth. AL is pertaining to. Prenatal. Prenatal means the time and events before birth. Pre means before, nat means birth, and AL is pertaining to. So we know that means pertaining to before birth. Perinatal refers to the time events surrounding surrounding birth, Peri means surrounding. So these are prefixes describing direction, quality, size, and amount. Macro means large. Mega means large. There's a disease called cardiomegaly, enlarged heart. We know cardio is heart. We know mega is large. So if you've never known what cardiomegaly is, you know cardio is your heart, and we know mega means a lot or large. So you can just put it together and say, oh, enlarged heart. Contrasting and confusing prefixes. Some prefixes are confusing because they are similar in spelling, but opposite in meaning. Very important. We know sub, under, less, below. In real life, if we know what a submarine is, submarine is it goes under the water. Underwater craft. So sub is below. Super, above or excessive. Intra, within or inside. Intracostal. Enter, between or among. EU, normal, well, easy, good. And here are some definitions to help you. Subcostal, supracostal, intramuscular, interstitial, eupenia. Understanding medical terms, picking the words apart. Always start at the end of the word with the suffix and work toward the beginning. As you separate the word part, identify the meaning of each to get a definition of the term. Be aware that not all medical terms are made up of word parts. This is a great example that I can give. Even if you've never saw this word before, if you knew these individual meanings, when you look at the word and break it down, you can understand that otorhinolaryngology or ologist, or I'll say this, otorhinolaryngology. So we know otto is ear. We know rhino is nose. We know larynx is throat, like your larynx. And we know ology is the study of. So this means this is an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Even if you've never saw this word before, if you break it down, I know, okay, otto is ear, rhino is nose, your larynx is in your throat. Ology is the study. So the study of your ear, nose, and throat.